a strong respawn team. I mean, we see it here. We saw it mostly in the previous series versus TM, but they sort of let things down as they got a little bit snowballed off of basically just a clutch play at the very end by TM.
Was them being such a strong respawn team, the Search and Destroy is a must-win then for VALIDATE.BLACK.
Oh, definitely. I mean, VALIDATE.BLACK's got a great experienced team here for SnD. I mean, they've got Maka, they've got Rival. What more could you really ask for?
Who's the player from each of these lineups to watch in the Search and Destroy? I mainly want to focus on VALIDATE.BLACK simply because they've been put in a corner. Who has to go big for them to get this map?
I mean, like I said earlier, Maka is a little bit of MINDFREAK's kryptonite. I'm expecting him to sort of have a pretty decent game here because he's got a lot of experience against these guys. He sort of really knows how Buzzin plays. He knows how Shox plays. Probably a little bit less fighter, but I mean, if he has those 2 tickets of Buzzin and Shox, I mean, we saw Buzzin get shot down that last game against TM, and he's their main AR. That was the main thing that happened that basically just was the catalyst of MINDFREAK getting 6-0'd.
Who from MINDFREAK, well, they all played exceptionally well, we must note that, but who from MINDFREAK in the Search and Destroy, Josh, is going to be your standout?
I'm really looking for Excite. You know, he's known to rip out the scope, the montage maker. Maybe he may be doing the same again. There are some long lines of sight on this map, Kyle, that could be utilized.
Oh, definitely. And not only that scope, but I like his ERAD plays in the A bomb site inside. He's just nice and aggressive. I think he got a huge 3-piece at MLG, I believe.
That's what I love about Excite, whether it's super long range, super close, I tell you what, even halfway between. Excite's always going to be a man to step up. It must be said, I think Excite and maybe Shox especially were playing a little bit lackluster than their typical standard in the series against Tainted Minds. This is their time to turn that around.
Oh, definitely. Shox, like I said in the pre-game, basically, Shox is like, when he's focused, this is scary. Like, the hyped up Shox is great and all, but when he's focused, he's calling out hard. He's focused on getting his gunfights down and getting that W.
As Miles said, I want those auctioneers, the auctioneer call-outs from these guys. That's what it seems to be sounding like, but of course they can interpret all that. I'm glad they can. Buzzer there on your screen. He is determined to lead this squad to the victory over VALIDATE.BLACK. Now, as if you are just tuning in, don't forget, VALIDATE.BLACK got here into the losers bracket final by eliminating Chiefs in what some were calling a bit of an upset. This squad hasn't been together for too long versus the established house of MINDFREAK. And to take away a win here would be very big indeed. We're heading into the Search and Destroy now, ladies and gentlemen, and on the first offensive round, it's going to be VALIDATE.BLACK. I want to have a quick look to see if Excite is running anything crazy. No, he's just going with that K-bar, so let's see how swift the objective player for the squad is going to move, and this is an interesting route for the bomb carrier.
Yeah, definitely. A little bit nervous that he's up front on his own here, contesting this gunfight, because he's going to get bombed down in an awkward position, but at least that kill is traded out. I like that they were grouped. Nice play from them, but I mean, they have to grab that bomb, and they have to basically set up for a bit of a play here, and they have no idea where MINDFREAK is going to be, based on this sort of middle push early.
I have no other word for it than just to say this was a very weird break. That was a very strange break from VALIDATE.BLACK. They somehow sent Rival all the way into the MINDFREAK spawn to pick up the bomb that was dropped by the bomb carrier, who went straight over to the opposing spawn, and now they've wrapped around MINDFREAK spawn to plant at B. Kyle, that was very strange.
Yeah, it was a little bit unorthodox, but I mean, they have numbers right now, so I'd like to see VALIDATE.BLACK group up a little bit more and trade these kills out, and it's going to happen exactly like that. VALIDATE.BLACK take the first round with a bit of an unorthodox play, but I like it. It's good to catch people off guard.
100%. It seems to have caught MINDFREAK off guard. They were able to be taken down by VALIDATE.BLACK. The ERAD play right at the end there by Back-a-Beck cleaning it up. MINDFREAK down 1-0 at the beginning of this Search and Destroy. VALIDATE.BLACK. You know, it is only one round, Kyle, but obviously very nice to start off with a positive vibe in the camp.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm pretty interested to see how MINDFREAK break out. I think they're going to opt for probably more of a 4-stack and be pretty aggressive here, because that's where their talent lies.
They're going to be moving over for that B stack. Opposing them will be Maka. Let's see what he can see, as we're going to be seeing 2 guys run along the wall run. Maka spots one. He may not have got both, though, as Shox and Excite both made that wall run. He's going to be taken down. Shox now, let's have a look at him as a bomb carrier fighter is going to actually be picking up the kill there to even up the score, at least when it comes to the player count on the screen. Now, both teams looking like they're going to wrap back. VALIDATE.BLACK seem to be aware of this, and they're moving forward for it. Very patient play from MINDFREAK. Obviously, patience is definitely a virtue in Search and Destroy, Kyle.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, VALIDATE.BLACK had a really decisive play. They cleaned out A and instantly did that wrap. But I mean, that would work against any other team. But MINDFREAK recognized that they only had one player at the back there and just used numbers to trade out that kill to even things up to be 3-3 for either team.
We're about to see a big wrap back over towards B, and I think we are going to see VALIDATE.BLACK wisen up to that as Bakabek just checked bomb. They will be wrapping back around now. Let's have a look at Shock's point of view as he might catch them moving over towards him. Bomb planted. Shox catches one. Can he pick up the kill? He finds the second. He does get the drop shot. However, we can see two players actually taken down, Buzzer and Shox. We need a solid defense from Fighter. Let's watch this from his point of view as he may be shut down here in just a second. But Fighter, the odds are stacked against him, only just though as the bomb is planted. Going to be checking bomb. There is a player right in front. Gets shots out, picks up one. He needs the other, but he's going to be taken down. And this will be diffused here by Rival with plenty of time. And Rival's going to be working slowly towards streaks as well, Kyle. He's on a 2-kill streak, and he's going to get the diffused here.
Yeah, he's pretty close. Working on that camo as well. I mean, I'd like to just touch on what Fighter did there. He knew the exact amount of time it would take the other team to rotate around behind him, so he didn't even bother checking his back. He knew that he could push up on that wall run and wrap around and potentially catch those guys off guard. And it almost worked out. It was just Rival with a heads-up play, turning around and deleting that player back.
Great awareness, great communication from VALIDATE.BLACK, and they're now 2-0 in the lead in this Search and Destroy, and they're on the offense now. Looks like we're not going to be seeing any of this scope play coming out of Excite, but he does have the ERAD, and I'm just as excited to see that as well. He's going to be dropping down low, but as we can see here from the minimap, it looks like we may see a wrap over towards B as VALIDATE.BLACK just trying to decide which way they're going to go. You can see some awful positioning from a couple of these players. The long-range ERAD shots out there by the player standing still. We may have an issue. We'll have to look into this, but or unless they just caught them off guard, I'm not too sure. Maka, before we know it's going to be the only one left alive for VALIDATE.BLACK, so I guess they really did just catch a player with their pants down.
Yeah, not quite sure what happened there, Josh, but I mean, that's a pretty quick, clean round to MINDFREAK.
Just checking out what's happening here. I think there may have been an issue. We're just finding out now, ladies and gentlemen. It was 1-1 before the end of that round. It looks like I think there may be an issue. We shall find out. I see an admin on stage. I guess we'll find out at the beginning of this round. Looks like we may be playing on, so we're not too sure. Players are still standing still, and off they go. Whatever, if they're rolling with it, we're rolling with it, Kyle. Fighter, he's going to be running the objective for the squad once again. Picks up the kill on Swift. 1-1 is going to be the kill count in this round. Nade's going out. He does tag him up. That was a player running flak, as you'll commonly see in this Search and Destroy game type. Bakabek, ERAD in hand, is going to be moving back around towards you. And you can see here 3 players up for both sides. And this is going to be very tricky here as this rotation comes around. They may or may not run into each other as there's going to be a flip. Fighter's going to be working around towards B. And looking at the positioning on the map, excuse me, Kyle, this is looking like it should be a pretty easy plan here for MINDFREAK.
Yeah, definitely. Once again, MINDFREAK moving as a team, VALIDATE.BLACK doing the same. But I mean, it's just excellent timing and perfect reads of what the other team are doing. I'm so impressed with MINDFREAK right now. They just seem to know exactly what VALIDATE.BLACK are doing without even seeing them on the map.
Shox is in a perfect position here. His teammate Fighter's got some shots ringing out down that cut as well. And the timing here might work for Shox. Shox springs the trap. There's going to be another player behind him, which he may not have noticed, though. I think they spotted him. Shox is actually all alone. This might be a very clutch 1v3. He took down 2. Maka's working out there. He's got the ERAD. Shots out from Maka. He picks up their kill. He's going to get the defuse as well. And VALIDATE.BLACK are going to be ahead 3-1 here in this SnD.
Yeah, Josh, that's a scary thing about Shox. Like I talked about that confidence earlier, he does some weird things in SnD, but he's got the shot to back it, so he just sort of contested out into odd ground in middle and just completely caught that player waiting to pinch off guard.
Maka, of course, having the advantage with the information at hand. His teammate was just dropped down in mid. He knew exactly where he was. It was a close-range engagement. The ERAD, the weapon of choice there in that exchange. He came out on top, and now we're going to see VALIDATE.BLACK halfway towards victory in this Search and Destroy. And obviously, being down 1-0 in this series, they want this to answer back. And, you know, you're probably feeling a little bit nervous if you're a MINDFREAK fan right now.
Yeah, definitely, Josh. I mean, it is Crusher. It is a bit of a long-range map, but I mean, MINDFREAK's grouping has been really good every round. I feel like they should have more points on the board than this.
We're going to be seeing a wrap here from Excite, who's also running that Erad. He might run into Bakabek, who's coming towards him. He's going to get taken down by Bakabek, who's jumping out with that K-bar, spots one play. He's going to try and wrap around. They're going to run into each other. He's going to be shocked up, and now trading out. Fighter gets a second. Swift goes down, and now you're going to be seeing a 2v1 scenario. Make that 1v1 as Rival does get Fighter. The bomb is planted. I thought we were going to see the clutch plays, but it's actually going to be Validate who's going to be kicking that clutch, and now it's going to be 4-1 as, look, MINDFREAK are falling into the doom parts of the map. That camo obviously was going to be big in that play.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised Rival popped that to win the 1v1. I mean, he sort of had better ground than Buzzin', but I mean, great heads-up play to contest bomb with that. He basically just won the round because of it. So great usage of camo, even though it was for a 1 kill.
You can call it a panic play. I relate that to, you know, using score streaks too early. You know, when you want them up your sleeve in case the opposing team comes back. Personally, I would have liked to have seen it used a little bit later on, but hey, Kyle, you were the pro player, not me. So, I mean, it still won them a round, right?
It did, but I do agree with you in a sense, Josh. I mean, we can agree and disagree, but it's still a good play, honestly.
All right, let's see if MINDFREAK can bounce back. We've got Fighter here, once again, pulling the team's weight right here. 9-4, while Buzzo's sitting there on 0. I wouldn't mind actually checking out Buzzo's point of view as he's following his teammate Fighter, both teaming up together to try and take down the opposing team of VALIDATE.BLACK. What do you think of VALIDATE.BLACK's positioning here, Kyle?
Look, they're playing deep, they're playing passive. They sort of know that this team of MINDFREAK is still sort of set up and floating around the bomb site, and they have man advantage. So as long as they're grouped in this difficult ground, I mean, it's going to be so hard for MINDFREAK to push it. And we see that. Buzzin' gets traded out straight away. His teammate wasn't there quick enough to get the trade, so it's going to be very awkward for Fighter in this 1v3. Takes out the first kill. It's going to be down to Maka and Rival to finish off Fighter here.
This is going to be tough for Fighter. Obviously, he's got to get 2 kills or somehow get a bomb down. It's probably going to come down to the kills, though. Fighter having to back up. You can see they know exactly where he is. He's going to challenge 1v1 now. It's up to Rival to stop Fighter. Fighter's probably feeling good right now. He might try and go back for a plant. How's Rival going to play this out? He plays it passive, but he knows what the timing's like. He may actually let Fighter get this down because Rival's obviously going to be feeling the panic right here, but the bomb is planted. Fighter, I love that play, Kyle.
Wow, that was so close by Fighter. Just literally perfect time to rotate back there. He knew that he probably could have won that gunfight, but he wanted to buy himself a little bit more time and basically put Rival on the back foot and just pull him out of that good ground that he had at the back of the map there.
How does Rival play this? If you're in this 1v1, Kyle, what does Rival do?
Exactly what he's doing right now, moving as quickly as he can throughout the map, checking as many corners as he can, but he gets destroyed and almost closely gets that turn on.
That was actually pretty impressive. The reflexes there to drop down like that, turn around. I mean, it could have been very, very bad for Fighter, but you can see how good he slid in. But Fighter actually did take damage from that, so that was very, very close.
That was a 1v3 from Fighter there. That was perfect. Picture perfect.
Fighter impressing everyone here as he's keeping his team alive. Again, he is really backpacking the squad. 12-4 right now. Young Fighter going huge, and now we're going a very aggressive push through the mid-map here. Bakabek going to be the first one to die. His teammate Swift as well. Could this be the MINDFREAK resurgence that we need for them to continue on? Shots ring out from Maka. They're going to know exactly where he is on you. You can see he's going to turn back there. A little bit shaky. MINDFREAK, they have the numbers, and I like their positioning, but Maka's not done yet. As I say that, he actually is done there, Kyle.
Josh, I'd just like to point out that I don't think Buzzin's gotten a kill in his past, 12 rounds of SnD right now. This is a little bit scary for MINDFREAK, especially if you are expecting to go into this grand final.
13 rounds, so I'm told by Mr. Curry himself, Dr. Curry, if you will. We're in round number 8 here, so that's a lot of rounds for Buzzo to be sit. That's got to be a world record for a donut.
Yeah, it's getting a bit scary, to be honest. But I mean, at least Fighter's put the backpack on. He's carrying all of Buzzin's giant girth, basically.
Oh my gosh, that is a girthy donut. Fighter is going to be getting this plant down very early as we see a very big stack on the bottom side of the map of the defense VALIDATE.BLACK. Let's see how they rotate back. Bakabek should be your point man as we move up. I just want to have a look at Buzzo, who's set a trap. Surely doing the old COD pub style in the corner, crouching, hiding. Surely this is a kill.
Oh my god, Buzzin.
Ladies and gentlemen, a moment of silence for Buzzo as the rest of his team now fall. And Fighter follows suit.
Wow, Buzzin just lost an NV4 to K-bar fight at range. That's not looking too good for him there.
I really don't know what to say about Buzzo, but, you know, Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you don't get a kill for 15 rounds of SnD.
Oh, Josh, no. This is not the Buzzin we expect and the Buzzin we've seen at an international stage. I'd like to see him playing a little bit better here versus VALIDATE.BLACK. I mean, his shot was basically on that hard point. We saw him in middle map absolutely shredding. I don't know what's happening here.
Buzzin's shot a little bit fuzzy as we move on into round number 9 here of this SnD. A reminder, if you're tuning in, this is the losers bracket final. It is a very important series to win. VALIDATE.BLACK looking like they're taking it very serious as they're 1 round away from victory. They're on the offense here, Kyle, and VALIDATE.BLACK, whether they're on the offense or defense, have always played their SnDs very well and seems to be no different here. But Swift, very jumpy on that trigger.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a risky play here because he's basically just confirmed for MINDFREAK exactly where they are. I like that they sort of turtled a little bit and waited for MINDFREAK to push. MINDFREAK with the heads-up plays. Buzzin again getting outshot middle map. How frustrating. He's currently gotten his license to kill in this series.
Yeah, I feel bad for him, man. I feel bad for him, you know. I don't know whether to give him a hug or a spanking for doing bad. I don't really know. You know, it's like kind of, you know, do you nurture him or do you try and guide? I don't really know what to say about it. All I know is that MINDFREAK have answered back with Fighter taking down Swift, and Fighter's on 14 kills. Excite there, keeping the team alive. Rival, he could shut this one down. 1 versus 2. The bomb still hasn't planted. So this actually, I feel Rival's in a good spot here. He knows that they're going to be over at A.
He's a little bit out of position because he's taking too long to wrap around. I mean, it was a good play, but where was that bomb planted? He could have possibly checked that from back down on the staircase rather than going for the long wrap. I think it was a good play, but I mean, he should have expected that MINDFREAK would be going straight for a defuse because they hadn't seen anyone in a while.
Yeah, obviously that defuse did go down. MINDFREAK now 2 rounds away from victory. They just got that last round, but VALIDATE.BLACK, they still only need 1 more. MINDFREAK pushing towards that A bomb site, and you can see there was a 4-stack over on B from VALIDATE.BLACK. That's what they were expecting. This plant's going to go down easily. Let's see how VALIDATE.BLACK respond to this.
Yeah, honestly, a little bit intrigued by MINDFREAK there. They had the opportunity to go for the plant, recognize there was no one at A, and they're doing a little sneaky here, sort of catching VALIDATE.BLACK off guard by going a little bit clockwise around the map. The VALIDATE.BLACK haven't seen anyone either, and it looks like they've wised up here and are going to backtrack up the map.
Doxday is going to be tagging up 1. There's going to be a huge wrap here by VALIDATE.BLACK. The camo's been wasted. Can Buzzo get a kill? He hasn't moved out yet. Excite. That's a long range for an ERAD shot. Buzzo moves out with the AR. He's going to be using those tacticals 2v4. Buzzo, will he get one before the end? That's really what it's all about for me. Is he going to get it? Finally, Buzzo gets a kill. We all celebrate, and he's actually left alone, and there he goes down. VALIDATE.BLACK, a very well-earned search and destroy win over MINDFREAK. We're going to be seeing the series tied up 1-1, and what a performance it was. MINDFREAK, VALIDATE.BLACK 1-1 in the losers bracket final. This is the kind of stuff we want to see at the end of CWL Sydney Open 1.
It seems like we've finally found MINDFREAK's kryptonite, and it is search and destroy. VALIDATE.BLACK level it up, and we got a series on our hands. We are, of course, live in Sydney, Australia. This is the Call of Duty World League presented by PlayStation 4 here at the CWL Sydney Open. And the second last series of the day. We're midway through it. Guys, I have to bring it up because it is the big note I have written down here.